last few days, I've seen some comments about Bitcoin and that these individuals want a Bitcoin to be the world reserve currency, or they believe that it's going to be the world reserve currency or a global currency. And I completely disagree with that. I was forwarded this article by a friend of mine, and it's called The Economic Case for Bitcoin. Let's go all the way to the bottom. It's, by the way, by Lawrence Kutlikoff. I actually like this professor. He talks about how the United States has a lot of problems coming down the pipe when it comes to the underfunded liabilities. I completely agree with that. Let's go all the way down now. A final there. A final concern is that countries won't be able to print money to bail out their banks in the midst of a financial crisis. This seems all to the good because this ability to paper over the financial system's problems has prevented addressing the two key problems plaguing the financial system: opacity and leverage. Having a global currency whose supply is limited, fully transparent, and independent of any government's control could usher in real financial reform. Limited purpose banking, which transforms banks and other financial corporations into equity finance mutual funds whose holdings are disclosed on a real-time basis, is precisely what is needed. The long sweep of financial history tells us that many extremely valuable innovations were initially viewed with suspicion, but without them, we'd still be engaged in barter. Bitcoins may be one of the truly major financial innovations that brings the world together and forces long-needed fiscal and financial reform. Let's give it a chance. I wanted to read over this one statement, and it's: having a global currency whose supply is limited, fully transparent, and independent of any government's control could usher in real financial reform. So he's talking about a global currency here. And then I want to read another sentence. Bitcoins may be, well, one of the truly major financial innovations that brings together the world and forces long-needed fiscal and financial reform. Let's give it a chance. You want Bitcoins, one of the truly major financial innovations. So you're saying that you want it to be the world reserve currency. Let's look at a chart of Bitcoins over the past few days. This is actually a chart of Bitcoins over the past 6 months, not a few days. But if you want to look at it the past few days, what was it, like 1242 a few days ago? And it went all the way to 576. So if you want this to be a global reserve currency and you see drops of 50% more than in a few days, that's a red flag. That is a huge problem, and people are talking about this being the world's reserve currency. I really don't know what to tell you guys if you do want it to be a world's reserve currency. If you could use Bitcoins to buy everyday transactions, go to the supermarket, and you didn't see these wild fluctuations, then Bitcoins could potentially be used as a world reserve currency. I mean, I don't think Bitcoin should be, because there's no intrinsic value to it right now. I mean, sure, people could buy pot with it, technically, but really, what can you do with Bitcoin? So with wild fluctuations, businesses are not going to like that. Now check this article It's on Bloomberg. Bitcoin slumps after ban prompts Baidu termination. Okay, Baidu, China's biggest search engine, stopped accepting Bitcoins after the nation's central bank barred financial institutions from handling transactions, triggering a drop in the virtual currency. Okay, what happens if you see central banks doing the same thing as China? What's going to happen to the price of Bitcoins? Probably going to go down in the short term. And then when businesses see the wild fluctuations in the price of Bitcoins, when one day it could be 1200, 200, or 1240, and then the next few days it goes to 576 at one point, who in their right mind as a businessman would want to use it? Now, look at these central planners. Do you think these central planners would want to use a currency like Bitcoins where you see these crazy fluctuations? These guys want price stability, or they want some sort of price stability. They don't want chaos happening. even though they're probably going to create chaos as it is, but they don't want to happen right now. They want to kick the can down the road. Think through this logically. If you see a currency that has gone up over 100,000% within the past few years, and then has crashed 30 to 40% within a few days, if you were a central planner, would you use that as a global currency? Yes or no? And you can answer that question yourself.